Good afternoon or evening or morning, depending on when you're listening to this, Kevin.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to this at a specific time.
No. I mean, not according to us anyway. We're recording on evening, though. A very special evening. I would call it a forceful evening.
Why
I would
is
say
that?
May the 4th be with you, Kevin.
Oh,
it's
thank
May
you.
4th.
And also with you.
Thank you very much.
I grew up Catholic, so anytime someone says May the 4th be with you, my impulse is to say and also with you.
And also with you, of course, yeah.
Is that the correct response? If I was like, and also with you, would you be like, look at this dick?
I wouldn't say look at this dick, more as like, well, you should have just given an approving nod, but...
So I shouldn't say anything.
You're right, you should just give a knowing nod.
Okay.
You know?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing that now.
Yeah, like...
Is this okay?
Yeah, like we're on the same level, man, type of nod. But you gotta make sure I'm looking, because otherwise I'm just gonna think you're a dick for not
But what if
responding.
you say, may the force be with you, and then immediately turn away? Then I'd have to like try and catch up to you
Look,
and be like, wait.
These aren't hard and fast rules. They're more guidelines than anything. Happy Star Wars Day.
Happy Star Wars Day!
You can haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Turn the lights, grab a seat, pour yourselves a whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
Oh, man, we really should have introed the podcast, I guess.
Oh yeah, this is a trailer podcast.
Hi, welcome to Trailer
Welcome to
Hitch.
Trailer.
I'm Kevin.
I'm James.
All right, so we're going to be going through a bunch of trailers for you guys. The Kingsman 2 trailer dropped.
Very exciting. I like the first one a lot.
It Comes at Night also dropped as a trailer.
Right.
And we also have The Dark Tower, which just dropped as well.
Stephen King book.
We're going to try and fit a loose theme about darkness throughout the podcast. However, since The Kingsman does not fit that, we're just going to have to awkwardly figure out ways to shoehorn that in.
Don't worry, guys. We'll try.
We're going to do our best.
Yeah, the force
as
is
we
with
always
us.
do. And also with you, listener, hopefully. Yeah. So, before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, we actually fucked up. And it takes a lot for us to admit that.
Yeah.
But we got to admit that. We got to come clean. And we're going to do that right now with the trailer repair. James?
Trailer repair. You know what? We actually have a little bit of me singing a made-up trailer repair song from like an old episode. I'm going to splice it in. I'm going to do it.
I don't have that.
No, I have it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, because I knew this day would come, Kevin.
God.
I knew we would fuck up, and we're going to play it right now. Trailer repair. We're doing some repairs on the trailer because it needs it done because we fucked up.
All right, so as James said in that nice little ditty, we fucked up, and it's time we talk about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, last episode we were talking about the trailer for Detroit.
Yeah.
Lots of things were said. You know, we were talking about the general layout of, like, the trailer and, like, you know, is this going to be vignette style like The Hurt Locker? Because that director, Catherine Bigelow, had also made The Hurt Locker, she'd also made Detroit.
Yep.
Yada, yada. We expounded quite a bit upon that. Our main basis for that was like, well, look, I mean, there's a band playing over here, and then all of a sudden you got these people locked up in a house. Like, what's the deal? Well, ladies and gentlemen, upon further review, we took like a good hard look at this fucking thing, and it turns out that the people in the house that are more or less being held hostage by the police are that band.
Now,
so, hey, Catherine Bigelow, that's our bad. Mark Bolt, that's our bad.
Okay, all right. We apologize. You know, we fucked up, and here we are.
I suppose at the same token, there's a chance that it could still be vignette style, as far as I know, as far as you know, as far as anyone knows, aside from the people who made Detroit.
Honestly, we don't have to apologize too much. We are, you know, fixing our flub, our mistake there.
We are only human.
But it is a first impression off of a trailer, or, you know, first couple impressions off of a trailer. And if we weren't able to piece that together until a couple watches, that's not necessarily on us. That might be on the way the trailer's assembled. So, you know what? I'm going to say,
I like how
fuck you, trailer
we
editor.
started as being apologetic. This is quickly moving into a fuck you, which is not the direction I was expecting this repair
You know
to
what?
go
That's
in.
that's what happens when you're trying to fix stuff, Kevin. A lot of times you
just
throw
get
down
frustrated.
your wrench and you say,
Yeah.
fuck you, which has happened just now. I do. Yeah, we're
there are
fixing it,
there are mixed messages throughout this. Really, the imperative thing is the people in the house are also the band in Detroit. The trailer, okay, we're good. Are you ready to move on, James?
I'm ready to move on.
Let's fucking get out of here.
Get out.
All right.
How are we going to get out of here, though?
Well, we're going to get out of here by hitchhiking.
Oh, my God.
Because I don't have a mode of transport.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, cars in the shop. But you know what? I think as long as we stick together, avoid the darkness of perhaps towers and night and...
Spies. Secret Service spies.
Yeah.
Who smile a lot and look real handsome.
Just out-and-out gentlemen. Be wary of them, James. They're hiding something. Yeah. Mostly government secrets because they're spies.
That's right.
So
That's
anyway,
dark.
we're gonna get into Hitchhikers right now, ladies and gentlemen. For those who have not listened to this podcast, Hitchhikers is James and I going through a set number of trailers, rapid fire, where we give you a brief synopsis, our abridged thoughts, and then we give a rating for the trailer. Now, our rating scale is as follows: need to see more, or never need to see. Now, if James and I both give a trailer a need to see, we will celebrate for just a second.
Briefly.
And then we will go see the movie, preferably opening weekend, but, life.
Yeah, life happens.
Once we see the movie, we will do a special segment called Trailer in the Rear View. Unfortunately, we realize that the acronym for that is TITRV, but we're too far along now. We're at episode 19. We just have to commit.
That's right.
Where in which we review the movie and the trailer in hindsight. So, we are going to get started with Hitchhikers. We got 14 trailers.
That's right, 14. It's kind of more than we've had in a while. It's not the most we've done.
Okay, so how much time do you think we should give ourselves?
Should we say...
We're going to do this in 8.5 minutes.
Yes, good confidence. We are going to do this in 8.5 minutes.
We are going to do this in 8.5. We're going to Federico Fellini the shit out of us and go for 8.5.
I don't understand that reference, but we're going to keep on moving anyway.
Well, it's a super good movie. We'll watch it at some point. Anyway, James and I always try and hit a target time on these segments. We've been doing a really good job as of late. So now that we have our sea legs, I think I'm going to actually throw a curveball into Hitchhikers. Here's the deal. Because when we came in overtime, we would be sad. But that's really not that much of a threat. Like, what happens if we go overtime aside from us being sad? So, starting now, ladies and gentlemen, if we ever come in overtime on a Hitchhiker segment, James and I will take a movie that we both gave a never need to see, and then watch that, and then give you a review for what we anticipate to be a not good movie.
You know what? I like it. But we're going to decide, right?
I think we should just go by, first come, first serve basis.
I was going to say maybe we leave it up to the listeners, Twitter style.
Oh.
Have the listeners vote.
Well, I like the idea of it being Twitter style. That said, we have 8 people following us.
Well, then one person is going to have a lot of power.
Maybe we'll do a Facebook poll or something.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I like that. So if we come in overtime, you can pick our poison. What terrible movie do we have to watch?
You're welcome, Planet Earth.
All right, so I'd really like to come in under time, so
would
I'm
I.
going to...
I wish I knew this little tidbit before I wrote these.
I'm going to speed read the fuck out of mine, because mine are also pretty long.
I'm going to try.
All right, James, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I am ready as well. I'm going to get started right about... Now, same kind of different as me. It's a clumsily titled film about a married couple working at a food bank befriending a homeless guy. I'll see it if there's a scene where each of these excellent actors looks directly into camera and say what they're buying with their paychecks. It'll be my favorite movie of the year if John Voight murmurs, cocaine. All the cocaine. Never need to see.
Who doesn't love Greg Kinnear? What a charmer, right? And Jaimon Hansu, incredible actor. From Blood...
Thank you for actually being able to pronounce
I tried. From Blood Diamond to Guardians of the Galaxy, he's great. But let's not forget about the new up-and-comer actress playing Kinnear's wife. She's a rising star, if I've ever seen one. Oh, wait, that's Renee Zellweger. Okay, talk about disappearing into your role. All I'm saying is she looks different, okay?
Yeah.
But a same kind of difference.
Sure.
Anyways, once the country music arrived, I was out like a revolving door. Never need to see it.
All right, fair. Wakefield. It's about a suburban father hiding in a vacant house across the street as his family reports him missing. The premise gives away that the protagonist is a bit of a prick, so I was glad to see that the trailer didn't ease up on the consequences of his actions. Throw in a lilting piano score, and there may be a really interesting character study on our hands. I'll let you know, because I'm going to set an alarm for Wakefield. Need to see.
All right, everything here is beautifully done and sad and funny and best of all, mysterious. Until it's not. By setting up the mystery of how far am I willing to go with this, then show us exactly how far he's willing to go with this.
Totally fair.
The trailer belly flops after a perfect triple Lindy setup. It all looks great, but I would have to cut everything after that line of him daydreaming. And with them dropping the champagne glasses.
Sure.
And instead, have a second setup of him daydreaming in addition of a sadder scenario of him going full Dan Aykroyd and trading places with the beard and everything, ending it on a contemplative, clean-cut Cranston backing away from the window. Need to see more.
Wow, you do have a lot written. Let's go
That's
faster.
it for the
Survivalist. It's a post-apocalyptic flick about a man living in the woods being greeted by two women. As they live together, secrets simmer to a boil. Was really won over by how reserved this trailer was. Gave just enough context without going overboard. This premise is becoming pretty well-treaded ground for post-apocalyptic movies, but I think I can survive another one. Need to see.
The vibe of this trailer is definitely messed up and unnerving, which is fascinating. But plot-wise, it's going to have to give me a little bit more than the plot of 80% of every Walking Dead episode. Need to see more.
Sure. Menash. It's about a single father living in Israel. While I like the intimate cinematography that favors close-ups of people, I really wish there was more to the story than it's about a single father living in Israel.
Yeah.
Another scoop of panache would help Menash for me. Need to see more.
Initially, I didn't understand why the son wasn't allowed to be with him. Is it a cultural thing I'm not familiar with, or maybe a specific
That's what I thought.
or a specific circumstance?
Sure.
You don't know. But the more I thought about it, an explanation would have bogged down the trailer with unnecessary detail. So I thought it was a smart move. But for the most part, it looks like a nice father-son story from a side of life we don't often get in mainstream movies. However, the tone seems a little too timid for me to go see it in the theaters. Need to see more.
Sure. Lost in London. It's about Woody Harrelson being a fuck-up. Wait, this will be broadcast live? Was the trailer the rehearsal in? If I was in London and recognized where they were filming, could I run outside and be in the movie? Anyway, this looks fun. Need to see more.
Hearing Woody Harrelson desperately singing the Cheers theme song to get into a nightclub is something I never knew I wanted to see, but here we are. Anyways, I think this is a tricky trailer to sell. You cut it in a traditional trailer sense with edits, cutting scene to scene, or you can highlight that it's a movie filmed as one long tracking shot. I guess the trailer thought it was best to do both, which essentially makes the message, look, if you're not sold on the story, at least come for the experimental filmmaking aspect. Never need to see it.
Ooh. The Hero. It's about a washed-up Western actor trying to put his life back together. The Wrestler plus Birdman plus Sam Elliott. Normally that equation would equal me frantically checking for when this drops, but I spent most of the time wondering what Laura Prepon was doing in the movie other than being the woman who puts the broken man back together trope. But hey, Sam Elliott, dude's a hero. Need to see more.
Even though I like basically everyone in this, the trailer is a little too cliche for my taste. Maybe I'm just not the demographic for the film, at least the way the trailer's cut. What a voice on that Sam Elliott, though, am I right?
Yeah.
Never need to see it, though.
Oh. Beatriz at dinner. It's about a Hispanic woman being invited to an all-white 1% dinner, and she alternates between horrified and telling them to go fuck themselves. While it got a bit on the nose, especially the hunting bit, there was something really cathartic about this, given the current climate outside, which is warm due to global warming. Might have appreciated something more out and out satirical, but I'll take this to go. Need to see more.
Oy vey, I'm glad I'm not at that dinner. So uncomfortable. Honestly, though, the trailer is really effective. Sets the players, sets the stage. Peppers in some small quips from every character to give you a sense of where they stand. Then sets the table for dinner, and man, does the main course get cooking. The trailer did a great job of slowly raising the intensity right up to boiling point, and then that's when you leave us with the title card wanting more. Well done trailer. Based on this, need to see it.
That's fair. Absolutely anything. It's about a man given the power to make anything happen, but he's a schlub. A bit too broad for my taste, but I love it. I love the bit where the president is consistently getting shot at. Willing to hear it out, but I wouldn't give absolutely anything to see it. Need to see more.
Basically looks like Bruce Almighty remake, right down to the dog potty humor, substitute God for aliens.
That's a good point.
I did find some of the jokes funny, but the overall tone was a little lacking in the heart department, which clearly is what the whole arc of the film is supposed to be. Selfish man is given universal power to learn in a backwards way not to be selfish. How do I know this? Because I've seen Bruce Almighty. Never need to see it.
The Recall. It's about a group of friends who go out into the woods and get attacked by aliens and Wesley Snipes, but not in that order. First, it's kind of fucked up that the concept of teenagers going to a remote place and not being killed would be a radical turning point in cinema. Second, wait, is that the same gas station set from The Cabin in the Woods? Third, if any of those aliens called the IRS, then Wesley Snipes is fucked and all the kids are going to die. Never need to see.
I hear hitchhiking can be dangerous. When you have to review a film like this, it can be. I got like 7 different vibes of what this trailer could be. It's like a teenage slasher film. Oh, it's like Cabin in the Woods and Tucker and Dale as a comedy to subvert the genre? Wait, no, it's an alien movie. Wait, no, it's a survival action film. What the hell's going on? Never need to see it.
Once Upon a Time in Venice. It's about a private investigator who takes on a gang to retrieve a stolen dog. This movie looks like it's having an existential crisis between being a noir, balls-out action flick, or a parody of the former concepts. It's a shame because I love all three of these things, but it seems like they botched measuring the ingredients. Never need to see it.
Yeah, did anyone involved in this film tell anyone else involved in this film that this film is a comedy carbon copy of John Wick? No? Doesn't bother anyone of you guys? No? Okay, well, on with the trailer. It's fine. Yeah, never need to see it.
Okay. The Big Sick. It's about Kumail Nanjiani and Emily V. Gordon. I'm going to be completely honest in that I'm getting burnt out on comedians doing movies and TV shows that are loosely based on their own lives. It's the comedy equivalent of superhero origin stories. It's not without merit, but there's just a lot of them. What saves this for me is the coma and in-laws aspect of the story, which is way more interesting to me than the typical I'm a comedian trying to figure out my life tropes.
Agreed.
Need to see more.
Yeah, I laughed at every joke in this trailer. That's a rare and special thing for me when it comes to comedies. It's structured just right by introducing the characters, then it gives you enough vague plot points that you'll enjoy the rest of the jokes of the trailers, but not too many plot points where you feel you know the whole movie. Just endless charm, great use of silence for comedic pausing and fitting music. I got a big sickness, and the only prescription is the Big Sick. Wait, that doesn't make sense. I just thought I could start saying something, then something smart would come out. Need to see it.
Iron Sky 2. It's about Nazis riding dinosaurs taking over Earth. Listen, you made up your mind as soon as I was done giving you the synopsis. I'm not opposed to a drunken viewing at home, but $15 for a ticket is a bit steep for me at this moment. Need to see more.
This trailer was designed specifically for people who've seen and loved the first Iron Sky, aka not me, because over a minute into this trailer, and we still have nothing other than POTUS Sarah Palin looking at a mushroom cloud and a penguin. Okay, but after her hand transformed into a goblin hand, things might pick up now. Just kidding, just quietly revealing a dinosaur land with a lizard Hitler riding a T-Rex. The absurdity should be fun, but there's just too many questions. Never need to see it.
Hounds of Love. It's about a woman being abducted and held captive by a couple. Kudos for being able to convey dread through a minute-long teaser. Even with the forced restraint of this trailer, I was uneasy as fuck watching this, but so much so I don't know if this is something I'd actively want to go out and see. Personifying the victim more than the abductors would probably help for me. Need to see more.
Woof, yeah, this is upsetting, but it appears it could go in an interesting direction, maybe, like the kidnapped girl playing mind games with her captors to get free. Still, it feels like a teaser more than anything. Need to see more.
Sure. The Exception. It's about a love triangle between a soldier, a Jewish woman, and Nazis, or something. My review, celluloid melatonin. Never need to see.
The biggest misstep of the trailer is shoehorning in a lot of the Christopher Plummer stuff. He's necessary for the setup of the trailer and for the meet cute of the lovers, but the other stuff with Plummer just complicate the simple story of forbidden love within the trailer. But for the most part, it looks, well, if I'm being honest, it just looks okay. Never need to see it.
Okay,
time! Stop!
Oh,
no, Kevin!
Damn it!
No, I thought we were. You know what? I felt real good about it halfway through, and then it wasn't great.
No, so, it's over 8.5 minutes.
9 minutes and 11 seconds, you guys.
With yeah. God, I really don't want to have to watch The Sea of Trees.
You know what?
Yeah.
We just don't have to include it then. No, I'm kidding. We'll include it because we said we made a big hullabaloo about it.
What would you rather not see?
What would I rather see?
Yeah.
Death Race 5000, I guess.
Seriously?
To try and make fun of it. Like, Sea of Trees just seems like depression from beginning to end.
Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you get to decide which one we are going to make fun of. As soon as this episode drops, a poll will also drop on Facebook. Just go easy on us, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a really long week for both of us, and any amount of mercy would be really appreciated. But anyway, we're done with mercy, because now we got to talk about spies. We got to talk about intrigue. We have to talk about darkness, which I'm sure is somewhere in this trailer. At least I hope so for the theme of this. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here's the Kingsman 2.
Eggsy, I saw in you what someone once saw in me. Something that can't be taught. The makings of a Kingsman. Being a Kingsman is more than the clothing we wear or the weapons we bear. It's about being willing to sacrifice for the greater good. I hope you're ready for what comes next.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are not reviewing The Kingsman 2, because that's actually not what the movie is called. It's actually called Kingsman: The Golden Circle, so...
Well, Tomato.
You say tomato, I say orange, and then just admit that I fucked up. So anyway, Kingsman: The Golden Circle is directed by Matthew Vaughn, written by Matthew Vaughn and his usual writing partner, Jane Goldman.
Matthew Vaughn also did, I don't know if his writing partner wrote, but X-Men First Class.
Yeah, that sounds about familiar.
Which was a really good one, in my opinion.
Based off the comic by Mark Millar, this is starring Taron Egerton. Is that how you say his name?
I think so.
Probably.
Let's go with yes.
Yeah. Channing Tatum. We also have Mark Strong, Colin Firth, Halle Berry, Julianne Moore, Jeff Bridges, Vinnie Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, we like to give a special shout out to a lesser known actor. You know, all those big names, they get all the praise, they get all of like the recognition.
All the glory.
But what about, you know, like there's so many actors in movies, you know what I'm saying? And so we like to give a shout out to someone who probably doesn't get shouted out that often. So ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to give a shout out to Tara Hugo, who plays a Kentucky barmaid. Hey, Tara, nice.
She's an American in this? Bringing some America to the Kingsman movies.
For fuck's sake, Colin Firth is in this, and so I guess anything is possible, right?
Spoiler alert.
Well, we'll get into it. So basically, like the first 40 seconds, I would say, of this trailer are just, you know, spy shit. It's like, hey, look at these neat gadgets. Look at the spy doing spy shit. Isn't everything well and grand? By the end of the first movie, Taron Egerton's character, Biggie Smalls. So Biggie Smalls ends up becoming a Kingsman. He's all happy.
Eggie Smalls.
Yeah. He becomes super happy. He's a Kingsman now. Things seem to be going pretty well for him.
Yeah.
Until a missile blows up the Kingsman headquarters.
Which is pretty bad,
That's a pretty big deal. It's especially bad if you want to be a Kingsman, which Eggie Smalls wants to be. So he's clearly distraught. Mark Strong walks through some rubble with an umbrella. He's also looking pretty sad. And then it's mostly a lot of action shots. You know what I mean? Like we got Channing Tatum whipping a rifle around. We also have some dude with a metal fist and he shoots it, and it's
definitely a prosthetic.
Yeah, it does seem like a prosthetic. And that like wraps around people, and you can like more or less recall it like he's an action figure and like bind people up, all that sort of shit. And then right at the end of the trailer, we get glimpses of Colin Firth.
Yep.
And
the reveal that Colin Firth, who was Eggie Smalls' mentor in the first Kingsman.
Yeah. The Tupac to his Eggie. No, they were rivals.
They were rivals. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think Biggie Smalls had a mentor. Go on.
That's fine.
You didn't need it.
He gets shot in the head point blank by Samuel L. Jackson in the first Kingsman movie.
Colin Firth does.
Colin
Biggie
Firth
Smalls.
does. Yes, not Biggie Smalls. That was a different thing.
That was a different murder.
Outcome. Yeah. Anyway, so this is quite a shock. So let's dive into this trailer.
Almost as shocking as the murder of Biggie Smalls. I don't know why I keep trying to weave this in. I'm sorry, everyone. Anyway, the trailer. What I think. It looks like it's more of the same. Yeah. And I think your mileage varies depending on that statement. The action figure arm guy, you know, the shot of him, he shoots his arm, and then it wraps around a motherfucker, and then it goes into slow-mo for a second before that person gets whipped back.
Yep.
You know.
They stopped the entire music cue, too.
Yeah, just for that.
Which I thought was an interesting choice. Mm-hmm. I don't think I would have done that. It pulled me out of it a little bit. I'm like...
Well, and especially because I think that music cue is what makes this like a solid trailer.
I totally agree with you.
I really love... it's Frank Sinatra's I Did It My Way.
And, I mean, Frank Sinatra is one of my favorite singers of all time. I don't know if you know this about me, Kevin.
I sure did.
Okay. Now everyone else knows, okay?
If you can remind me what your favorite flower is again, though?
Brandon flower. Because I like the Killers as well. I see what you were getting at, though. Tulip is my favorite flower.
I'm gonna write that
Just
down.
Write that down. Anyway,
you like Frank Sinatra? Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's a great song too, because it's a sad song about, you know, summing up your life.
Well,
you know?
I think it's also about just like taking stock of everything. It's looking at the good and the bad and being like, you know what, fuck it, this is what I did.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from the music cue, I agree with you. Yeah, for the most part, it's a lot of actiony stuff. from the same palette that the first Kingsman was.
Yeah.
And I liked it all. It was all really exciting and fun to watch and entertaining, energetic. I think that's what these films are really great at. They bring a poppy energy to a spy genre, which has been sorely lacking. I love Daniel Craig as James Bond, and I love James Bond movies.
But they definitely Dark Knighted that franchise.
Yeah,
it's we gotta go grim and serious.
It's very daunting. This is light and fun. And they're not hiding that fact, I don't think. But, I mean, it's really basic. I'd say it's pretty basic. Stylized, it's great. But
for sure. Not that much in terms of humor in the trailer, which to me is the thing.
I would say not at all.
Yeah.
There's not a single... Now, you know what? Now that I think about it, you're totally right.
Yeah.
This needed a joke.
Which is something like the first Kingsman movie... That's really what sticks out in memory to me about it, is the humor that goes on throughout.
The humor was great, with the exception of, like, one joke, which was, like, an anal sex joke, which was just, like, really weird and out of place.
That was, I agree. But anyway, yes, so there isn't any humor, which, you know, if they decide this is our time to go into a dark direction,
They won't.
Probably not. But it would have been nice if they'd incorporated some of the humor. I'm sure it's probably going to be in the movie.
I think it was a misstep. Because where would have been a great spot for a joke was the ending button. But they opted out of that to give away the reveal of Colin Firth is in this movie.
Right.
Harry. I believe his character's name is Harry. You know, I think that is a bad trade-off.
Now, if
you should have gone for a joke,
if they had been like Harry and they're looking off camera, and then it's a reverse shot of a coffin, I probably would have giggled. I probably would have been happy with the humor. But no, it's like they're really just committing to the straight-facedness of it all. And especially when you have a car that can swim, like... It might be a good idea to throw a pie at it in the trailer specifically, and clue your audiences in on the fact that you're in on your own joke.
You're in on which I thought the first one did a good job of, because there was a lot of like winks at the old classic Roger Moore style James Bond films. But like looking at that Colin Firth moment. Not only should it have been a joke there instead, but even if, like, okay, fine, you're going with the reveal of Colin Firth, that was an unbelievably underwhelming reveal. Just showing a guy shaving? What? Like, what do you... No, you gotta throw a hero shot in there. I understand that this is probably where they're seeing him for the first time, maybe.
Yeah.
But
it's... I
that.
agree. I agree that is a strange choice. And, like, it would have... Because if that's him, you know, doing something to make him more gentlemanly, like clean-shaven, which, speaking as a bearded man, I don't think you necessarily have to be clean-shaven to be a gentleman, but whatever. I'm not going to let my personal bias in on this. Even if that is what they're going for, his routine being who he is, I mean, given that the last time I saw his character, he got shot in the face, like, there's just some questions. No, like, hey, if he's shaving his face, where's the hole?
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Well, no, he had an eye patch on.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Kevin, he had an eye patch on.
Can you pass me more whiskey?
You were... Cheers, man. Cheers. No, you were too distracted by his beautiful face and the shavingness of the beautiful baby face that he was having.
I was watching envious. I was like, if I could pull off clean shaven, I would totally do this every day.
Good for you not seeing disability, man. But yes, he had an eye patch.
Equal opportunity. That's
absolutely.
Kevin. PC as fuck.
PC as fuck here on Trailer Hitch. But no, what I was going to say is that there's merit to that of like, him like prepping himself to show you that it's still him. I think the fact that we saw him die and you're going to reveal that he's still in this movie, he's not dead, he's still in this movie in the trailer, it needs to be a badass shot. Like him holding a gun or like shooting a flamethrower or
dude, how
something
cool would it be?
with an eye patch.
Let's say how cool this would be if he was like firing a revolver and then he ran out of bullets. And then he pulled out a bullet out of the hole where his eye used to be and then put it in the gun. Oh, I'd be in there fucking first thing Friday, opening weekend.
Look, not that verbatim, maybe, although you should because it's amazing, but something, I feel like something badass
totally
would have been more impactful to reveal to people that this badass, who we all know is a badass, is alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he's in some sort of padded prison cell, because we know that a lot of this movie takes place with like the American version of the Kingsman called the Statesman. I wonder if maybe so he survived the gunshot to the head, fine. That moment that he got killed, you remember this, right? He killed an entire church.
Yes.
Yeah, on American soil.
He killed an entire church of, by and large, innocent people, if I recall. I mean, like, yeah, they were freaking out because Samuel L. Jackson made him freak out.
Yeah, it was.
But,
it
like,
was
at
weird.
the end of the day,
It was weird.
Like,
and they weren't
yeah.
good people in that church, because it was essentially like...
oh, wait, no, it was a Westboro Baptist.
It was
right?
essentially
Yeah.
a social comment on the Westboro Baptist. It wasn't...
Sure,
it didn't
sure.
say that in
Never
the movie,
mind,
but...
then. Yeah, I rescind the good people thing.
Yeah. They weren't good people, but he, like, just murdered, like, everyone in the church, right?
So there's a
like,
lot, yeah.
indiscriminately.
Yeah.
And it was on American soil. So I think maybe because he's in a padded prison cell, the statesman found him and were like, oh, he's not dead, and he killed all these Americans, so we're going to take him back to our prison cell. Maybe.
And
like,
then maybe they're the ones that blow up the Kingsman.
There
place.
you go.
Maybe.
These guys are dangerous, man. They're just killing churches full of people on American soil.
Expect a full trailer repair next week when we watch this trailer again and go, that wasn't what was happening at all.
Anyway, yeah, it was a little underwhelming for me.
Yeah, I mean, like,
to.
again, like, the nuts and the bolts of it are there to be a Kingsman movie. I would say that out of the Mark Miller film adaptations, Kingsman was probably my favorite of those. I'm kind of on record for not really being a huge fan of Kick-Ass.
Sure.
But I would say Kingsman probably came the closest to me enjoying what Mark Millar does with a good number of his comics, which is kind of subverting the genres that he's doing. Mm-hmm. They're just usually super fucking mean-spirited, and I can't really get behind that. Like, Kick-Ass especially is just fucking mean.
And I think your brother Mike talked a lot about this on Nerd Soup at one point when they were
he
talking
and I have
about...
high-fived and agreed about this. Yep.
That was my first... Because I have never read Mark Millar comic.
I haven't read Kingsman. I've read Kick-Ass, and Kick-Ass as a book is even meaner than the movie. And
I listened to that podcast. If you guys check out Nerd Soup, it's really great. It's about comic-y, nerdy stuff. It's really awesome.
It's a good show.
But anyway... The first film of Kingsman, you wouldn't know that at all, because it's such a fun, lighthearted, kind-spirited movie, I would argue.
Yeah, aside from killing like 300 people in a church.
But even like that, it was like some sort of thing that Samuel L. Jackson was playing that made everyone go crazy.
Right.
But so
anyway,
it was no one's fault, sort of, I guess, whatever.
It's pretty dark, I'd say.
It is fucking dark as hell. Mm-hmm. We found it, Kevin. We found the way to make this dark.
It only took like 10 minutes, but we did it. Anyway, yeah, I would say overall, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to need to see more on this.
Yeah. Look, for me, I'm going to see this movie. I loved the first one.
Mm-hmm. But before you give a rating...
What?
Before you give a rating, I want to start to ask you on a scale of 1 to 7 Star Wars before you give your official rating. And then based off of your Star Wars rating, I'm going to try and guess what your rating is. On a scale of 1 to 7 Star Wars, James, how excited are you for Kingsman, The Golden Circle? Bear in mind, 1 Star Wars means you are not excited for this at all. You would rather stay home, marathon every single Star Wars property, including the Ewok special. Or a 7 is, even if A New Hope was playing across the street from you, you would rather see this movie over A New Hope in the theater.
Sure. I'm going to give this a 5.
You're going to give this a 5 Star Wars?
Sure, yeah.
All right, so that means you would only think about Star Wars every once in a while.
You know why I might think of Star Wars? Because Taron Egerton?
Eggy Smalls, yeah.
Yeah, Eggy Smalls was up for the role of young Han Solo in the Han Solo movie. So,
didn't know that.
I might be reminded of Star Wars.
But he's not going to be.
No, he's not.
It was all a dream.
It was another guy I can't pronounce his name.
Used to read Star Wars magazine.
It was another guy I can't pronounce his name. Aaron Edenrich. Sure. What did you guess?
Need to see more?
That is 100% accurate.
All right.
I'm giving this, based on the trailer, a need to see more.
That's fair.
I'm going to see this, though, because I loved the first one, and I'm excited for the second one, man. So,
and I'm very literal in that I may or may not see this.
That is legitimate.
All right, fair enough. So let's turn the light out on this darkness.
That's right.
And turn the light on our next dark trailer, which we're going to need because this is It Comes at Night.
Which, by the way, is a recommendation trailer from a very loyal listener named...
Drop the name.
Named Joe, or Joseph. I don't know how he... I call him Joe. I knew him as Joe.
The email came in as Joseph.
Yeah. So Joseph, in Wisconsin.
Yep.
We are going to review It Came at Night.
It Comes at Night?
That's what I said.
I'm gonna try and help you and your family.
I want to thank you again for letting us stay here.
Just gonna run through a few things. When we go out during the day, we like to stick to groups just for safety. The red door. It's the only way in and out of the house. It stays closed and locked all the time. I have the keys. It's the only set. Most important thing.
What's he see?
It's okay. Just go inside.
We never go out at night.
For real, you don't have to be bummed about getting the title wrong. I literally fucked up the Kingsman movie.
All right,
like,
fair
right
enough.
out the gate. Anyway, this is It Comes at Night, ladies and gentlemen. It is written and directed by someone named Trey Edward Schultz, who seems to be like an up and coming. He seems to have like one other movie under his belt and like a couple shorts, but that's about it.
Okay.
So kind of a new voice, which is exciting and
Fresh
neat.
meat.
Fresh meat. So this is starring Joel Edgerton, Kelvin Harris Jr., Carmen Ejogo. That's a dope name. Christopher Abbott. It's a pretty small cast, so I guess a random shout out has to go to Mick O'Rourke, who is man number one. Good job, man.
You know what? In a very small cast, you found the one.
The one motherfucker.
Good job, man. Good job. Wait, what was his name again?
Mick O'Rourke.
Mick O'Rourke.
Yeah.
So not Mickey Rourke, but
It's very similar.
it's similar. as
Similar
hell.
enough where I'm going to look at this picture and scrutinize whether or not... Can you give us a little synopsis, sir, while I try and figure out and make sure this isn't
I
Mickey
can
Rourke?
try. So, It Comes by Night or at night?
It Comes at Night.
It Comes at Night seems to be about... Joel Edgerton is the...
Seems like the patriarch of whatever house he's in.
That's right. And so he comes across this new guy, and he basically allows him to come into his house with his family, but first, like, tries to get some more information about what's going on out in the world, because we get the vibe that something is happening.
Right. But it seems as if the people who are coming in don't necessarily know either. because
Exactly.
He says, you don't know me?
Yeah. It seems to be another post-apocalyptic situation.
Yeah.
We are very familiar with these from now.
We've gotten a lot of trailers like
There's
these,
a lot
yeah.
of post-apocalyptic stuff flying around. But anyway, they welcome them in, and they're very courteous to them and welcoming, and basically explain that the red door is the only way in and out of the house. It remains locked at all times, and we don't go out at night. Those are the guidelines. The next night...
that door that's supposed to remain locked and closed, open.
It's open already. So, shit's gonna go down.
Yep. You definitely get the sense that they're starting to kind of like turn on each other,
Yep.
sort of like suspect bad things about each other. And it had hit a point where I got like maybe 3/4 of the way through this and was like, this does kind of feel like 10 Cloverfield Lane. You know, like just was getting that vibe. Or whatever.
Yeah. That it's
And
like,
then-
is this just all a mind game, or is there
Exactly.
actually something going on out there?
For sure. And then a woman comes in to a gentleman's room and kisses him. Now you might be thinking, this doesn't sound bad at all. However, when
This is my kind of movie.
this is my cup of tea. However, when she lifts her head up, it turns out that she's draining some sort of fluid into the man's mouth, whether that be blood, whether that be chocolate syrup, whether that be something poisonous.
Fluid,
We don't know.
Fluid is putting it lightly. That is some solid shit that was happening right there. It was very viscous and thick.
Yes.
Yeah, it was disgusting and very unsettling, but effective, I
Yeah.
think. But yeah,
And
so
I think that's the cool thing about this trailer is it doesn't really specify
What's
what
going on.
what the threat is.
Yeah.
But it gives me just enough to know, oh no, something's deeply wrong.
Yeah.
It goes beyond, is Joel Edgerton just sort of crazy? Because I
Right.
think especially after 10 Cloverfield Lane, just in like the trailers that we've been reviewing, I've seen a few trailers that kind of flirt that line a little
Sure.
bit, you know?
And based off of every role Joel Edgerton has ever had and the look of his general face, he looks like a guy who could be a bad guy, but he could also be an all right guy.
Yeah.
We just have to wait to see. So that's the vibe I get from this movie as well.
Grab a beer with him, and we'll just see if any pus winds up in my drink. Yeah.
No, I agree with you, though. I liked the fact that they didn't blatantly just tell you what was happening.
There's ghosts afoot or something.
But but they gave you enough so you know this isn't just a movie about is it all in their head. We know it's not just all in their head.
Right.
Something is happening.
Right.
And that's good to know going in because I feel more prepared. I feel like I know what I'm putting my money into a little bit more, which is important, I think.
I completely agree. Yeah. And the cinematography I've been really digging throughout this trailer.
Yeah,
a lot of it
great
seems
shots.
to be lit using natural sources or, a lot of flashlights and shit are used. I really feel like that does kind of help me draw myself into the situation a lot more. It helps me empathize with the characters a lot more when I'm only able to see what they're able to see. And most of the time, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
And even if it is fucking bright as day outside, they're in the woods, and so their visibility is limited regardless. And so when that dog is barking at something unforeseen, there's a chance that whatever that dog sees is either a mile away, and that dog can just really smell, or there's a chance that the thing is behind that fucking tree right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, that's really cool and really engaging.
That's what's so great about woods. And, there's another good podcast called Lore where they talk about lore, folklore or like myth about, different stuff. And there's a whole episode on why we mentally kind of fear the woods. And it's a great episode, and it kind of nails it on the head. And it's why setting a scary movie in the woods will never go out of style.
For sure.
Anyway, the setting's great. The cinematography is great. There's some great sound design in this. I wouldn't call it music, but it was
just like that. It was plucked violin.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. But it was plucked violin with something else accompanying it.
Yeah.
And by accompanying it, maybe it was just shattered glass being smashed or something. I don't know. But it was effective. And
it's the sound of the shower the guy takes after he wakes up with a bunch of goo in his mouth.
Yeah, it's like, what is this? But anyway.
This isn't my saliva.
Yeah. Let me put Eggy Smalls on the case. He'll figure it out. Anyway, I thought it was an effective trailer, but there was a lot. I don't know I can't really put my finger on why this didn't blow me away, though.
Sure. I would say the only real reservation that I have right now is, and you had kind of specified this earlier, that is a pretty familiar trope for post-apocalyptic movies. I mean, Jesus, The Survivalist, we just reviewed it for Hitchhikers, is more or less that same premise, even though it looks like Joel Edgerton's character seems to have his shit together a bit better than the Survivalist guy. Which is, guy out in the woods is like, whew, well, I got my shit figured out. It's a good thing I'm surviving this year apocalypse. And then people come rustling on through.
Yeah.
And then conflict ensues. You know what I mean? That is a very familiar trope. And it's becoming a trope,
I think you're right. I think that might be it.
I think really what makes this work better for me is the fact it seems as if the exterior threat, one, is actually established. Because even if we go beyond the puking into the mouth thing, we do have a very brief shot of someone who appears to be sick with this thing. That shot where they rear their head back and then that goo flies out of their mouth.
Yeah.
So it's like
a Flashdance style, whip back, but, with goop coming from your mouth.
It's just the grossest shampoo commercial you'll ever lay your eyes on, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe she's Maybelline. Maybe she's fucking sick as shit.
Anyway, we have that threat established, and it looks like, even though it might be zombies, it's not quite along those lines. And so there's part of me that just wants to see what is going on in this thing. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And again, I think that's just the mark of a really good trailer, in that even though I have a lot of the pieces there's still a few things where it's I'd really like to know what the hell this is about, though.
Yeah.
And, you couple, just that innate mystery that the trailer builds for me, and I really like Joel Edgerton as an actor, too.
He's great.
I think he's really great. And so you couple all of those things together. Honestly, for me, man, this is a need to see. I'm really excited for this thing.
Yeah. I think there was just so much in this trailer that I really liked, but there was just something that I couldn't really put my finger on why I wasn't ecstatic about it. And you enlightened it that the whole thing is just generally, I feel like I've seen it before. Mm-hmm. The specifics are very interesting and fascinating, and I'm excited to see the specifics. But for the most part, it kind of feels like I've seen it before, you know? I'm not that excited to see this similar thing. So I'm going to give it a need to see more.
Sure. And I see where you're coming from. Like, I think just the positives ended up outweighing the fact that, yeah, at least as of right now, this does feel familiar to me. But
yeah.
I completely understand where you're coming from.
All right, now, a Star Wars review.
Yeah.
I'm going to rate this to Star Wars.
Sorry, what's your t-shirt?
Oh, you guys want to know my t-shirt I'm wearing? It's a Han Solo t-shirt.
Yep, okay. I just wanted to establish that.
It says Han Solo on it.
Just in case anyone who's listening is like, why do they keep bringing up Star Wars? It's like, I just really want to hammer home for everyone. James likes Star Wars.
I mean, it's Star Wars
It's
Day.
also Star Wars Day.
The day we're recording this
It's also
is
Star Wars Day. Yes.
Anyway, I'm going to give this a 3.
Wait, a 3 Star Wars?
Yeah, I don't know. There's
Dude, that means that you would go see this movie, but then you would leave at about an hour mark and say you were going to the bathroom, but really were checking to see if a new Star Wars trailer dropped.
That is kind of accurate, actually. That might be something I do. Because I wouldn't whip my phone out during the movie.
The goop in the mouth, James.
Goop in the mouth is not enough for me, Kevin.
It's enough for me.
Goop in the mouth.
We're just two different
people.
God, that got pretty dark and grim.
Hey, that's what we're going for this episode, though,
It's
right?
what we're going for this episode. It makes me want to climb a tower of some kind where I can just appreciate how dark everything is.
There's a tower for that, Kevin.
Is there really?
It's called a dark tower.
Right.
You're a gunslinger, right?
There are no gunslingers. Not anymore.
Why does the man in black want to destroy the tower?
The tower protects both our worlds. If it falls, hell will be unleashed.
He's like the devil, isn't he?
No, he's worse.
You can't stop what's coming. Death always wins.
Your world might be gone, but mine isn't. If you let that tower fall, billions of people die.
Do they have guns and bullets in your world?
You're gonna like Earth a lot.
All right, let's go.
All right, lighten up, everybody. We got a review of the Dark Tower trailer. This is directed by Nicolas Arcel.
Good pronunciation.
Before anyone gets upset with me for what I'm sure is a botched pronunciation, he's Danish, and so whatever.
It's tough for me because I'm American.
Yeah, the only thing that I recognize here, he apparently wrote the Danish adaptation of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Is that I've never seen it. Is it alright?
How do you feel about The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
I haven't seen any of it or read the book.
I think you're fine.
Great.
I know people who really like it.
Moving on.
Matthew McConaughey is in this, as is Idris Elba, as is Jackie Earle Haley. The kid is played by Nicholas Hamilton. Our random shout out is going to go to Kenneth Falk, who plays Johnny. Hey, Kenneth. Aces.
You the man, Kenneth.
All right. This is Dark Tower. This starts off with visions of a crazy world in which Idris Elba shoots a bunch of people. And then this kid wakes up from his dream, but his shit starts shaking. Like, his room is vibrating, all that sort of stuff. And he's talking to, it appears to be a psychologist.
Yep.
He's like, tell me the deets, buddy. He's like, I see this dark tower. There's gunslingers. And guys like, that's not real.
Guys like, you cray, kid.
Then all of a sudden, another shake, another rumble. So this kid ends up walking up to a building that he recognizes from his dreams, walks up to it, and it turns out there's a portal in this vacant building.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid, who I assume goes to investigate because he thinks that this is a safety hazard and should be dealt with, steps into this portal, and whoop, now he's in this other world, where in which Idris Elba is not a dream, but a real guy aiming a gun at his face.
Yeah. It's like a destroyed world, like one that has kind of ended. It looks pretty bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's in the best of shape. So anyway, Idris Elba kind of gives him the deets about the world. There's this guy named the Man in Black who's played by Matthew McConaughey. He wants to do bad things. He's apparently even worse than the devil.
I know.
And
because that's a descriptor.
Yeah.
Like if you're feeling real lazy about describing your bad guy, it's like, is he like the devil? No, he's worse than the devil. Oh, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Idris Elba describes a vague tower that more or less keeps the gunslinger's world and the regular world, where in which, let's say, James and I, you, the listener, are. So the Dark Tower keeps these worlds separate, peaceful, all that bullshit.
Something
Matthew
like
McConaughey wants nothing to do with this peace and harmony. None of this hippie bullshit will stand with him. The kid really wants to get Idris Elba to come back to Earth with him to protect Earth. And Idris Elba's like, do they have guns on your planet? And he's like, oh, you're really gonna like Earth.
Yeah. I think that
Which kind of feels like a really tasteless joke, given...
Yeah, I think that might have been taking place on Earth already.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I feel like his world was leveled, and he brought him back to Earth, and they were at like a bar or something, weren't they? They were at like a table. It's not important.
So anyway,
doesn't matter.
And then what ensues from there is Idris Elba delivering a monologue, and he's doing his goddamn best, ladies and gentlemen, with this monologue about how he kills someone. And so he talks about how, I don't aim with my hand, I aim with my eye.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't kill with my finger, I kill with my heart. And I guess your mileage will vary.
It's like a weak attempt at like a gunslinger code.
Yeah,
I think is what I'm supposed to get from it.
And I mean, I have not read the Dark Tower
I haven't
series
either.
at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, like
there's a ton of books in that series, right? At
like
least
a pretty
7.
substantial amount. Yeah. I don't know the first thing about the series.
No,
you know what I mean.
Either.
So
yeah.
I'm walking in.
But
with
that's good. We're coming in with fresh eyes.
Literally
here.
Zero expectations.
Yeah.
Just what is this?
Yeah.
And like from what I've heard of early rumblings online, this isn't really too indicative of the source material, and like they're kind of doing more or less the summer blockbuster version of The Dark Tower.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
I think it's kind of hard to keep track of why people are mad on the internet nowadays.
Yeah,
but at least that's.
I wouldn't have known. I just know it's called Dark Tower, so I will assume it's based on these novels. I don't care which one. I don't care if it was before them or after them or whatever, or a loose adaptation, whatever.
For sure. So I mean, like, walking away, my impressions of it are, it just kind of feels like a summer blockbuster. You know what I mean? Like, where you have a vague threat that's going to destroy the world. In most Marvel movies, that's a blue light that's shooting up in the sky. In this film's case, it's just Matthew McConaughey wearing a dark shirt.
Blue light shooting up in the sky incarnate.
Right. Is worse than the devil, I would say. And on top of that, you have a kid who, like, ultimately, I don't really see a point for why the kid has to be in the movie at all, other than to give
for us audience members, I guess.
But
yeah,
those characters typically don't really do that much for me because they don't really do anything, especially within the context of the story. And
unless he does.
Maybe, but even just in the context of this trailer, we have 2.5 minutes, and really anything that happens, like, Idris Elba is the one that's more or less solving all these problems. All the kid does is walk through a portal.
There is a part where I think he's, like, teaching him how to shoot.
Yeah.
So, like, Idris Elba says in the trailer, there are no more gunslingers. Maybe the whole movie is about passing on the legacy of being a gunslinger onto this kid.
Maybe there'll be 2 of us.
Yeah. So who knows? Like you said, we don't know the source material. All we have is this trailer. It's real vague what we're looking at here. I like what I see with Idris Elba. I like what I see with Matthew McConaughey.
I think they're both great actors. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I would definitely agree that they look like they'll probably be the glue that keeps this thing from breaking apart.
It looks like a good... At the very least, it provides, like, a good stage for these guys to, really chew the scenery.
Sure.
In a fun way. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. It's a trailer.
Yeah. And, I mean, I think that they'll have a lot of fun chewing the scenery, but at the same time, I don't know if that's enough for me to go into a theater.
No, it normally isn't. Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, just chewing goop is what gets me into the theater. I'm learning a lot about myself.
Chewing goop has Kevin there.
With line and fucking sinker.
And, like, I could feel you kind of, like, steering in this direction, and I kind of want to save it for the end of the review of it. But there was a very weird message being sent about guns in this trailer.
Yeah.
It felt like if the NRA isn't like directly funding this movie, they at least watched this trailer and were like, see, we have a movie we can get behind. He says in the trailer, the gun's not killing people. His heart is. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. All right, calm down, NRA. Calm down.
Guns don't kill people. Idris Elba's heart kills people.
But yeah, I mean, like you said in the social climate, it's a little interesting the stance to be taking. Like,
I'm gonna wait it on it. Yeah. Come out 20 years earlier.
Yeah. Look, in the context of the film, it's gonna be fine. Like,
sure.
when you're looking at that kind of stuff. But when you're putting out a trailer, everyone scrutinizes like every bit of the trailer out of context. And when you have very, poignant lines about killing and how the gun is just a tool to do so, it has nothing to, like, I'd still be able to kill with my heart if I just had a knife or some bullshit like that. It's
I really hope that at the end of the movies he gets disarmed by Matthew McConaughey, and as Matthew McConaughey turns to destroy the Dark Tower, Idris Elba's heart just leaps out of its chest and just starts choking Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, it's
front row center.
Yeah,
I'd
front row center. Yeah, you want to see that in the trailer?
Fuck yeah!
Some gooping from the heart's mouth as it's strangling Matthew McConaughey to death. That's a good visual, right there.
That is.
Anyway, that was not lost on me though. The kind of message that it may have.
Now, bear in mind, it might be hilarious if in the gunslinger world, everyone has to have a background check before they can become a gunslinger. If that's the case, then okay.
Do you have a history of mental illness? Okay, you can't be a gunslinger to save the world. I'm sorry. We just have other people handling it. We're just worried that you're going to do something else with it.
Are you sure? Because it seems like you're running out of gunslingers.
Well,
you just didn't pass.
Sorry. I don't really know where I was going with that. I felt like it needed to be touched on.
I would agree.
Yeah,
I'm glad we did touch on it.
Yeah, I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. It just feels like people are able to pick and choose things out of trailers and latch onto it.
Yeah,
people do it all the time.
Really, for me, like the only thing that sort of made me step back a second was the thing where the guy's like, "Are there any guns on your world?" And the kid's like, "You're really gonna like Earth."
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's really just America.
Yeah.
That dude's gonna love America.
Yeah.
But like outside of that, no, I mean, like I can distance myself, especially when it's a fantasy world and a character coming from a fantasy world into a real world. Yes, absolutely, I can tell the difference between...
Yeah.
Idris Elba did not personally murder like 50 people in the making of the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now look...
and if he did, I mean, they're doing a damn good job covering it up because I haven't heard a peep about it.
Yeah.
Like there are just some aspects of it, because I think that the Dark Tower book series is a little dated just in that I think it's at least a decade old, maybe 20 years old.
Or the first book, at least.
The first book, yes. And maybe that sort of, like those sort of jokes worked in the 90s?
Maybe.
I mean, sorry to go semi-political with it, but I think after Sandy Hook, I'm not as cool with that joke.
Sure. And and I don't have a problem with guns. Like I'm not a person who needs guns, but I don't necessarily have a problem with it.
That said, I have like 50 firearms. Just like on me at all times.
I'm more poking fun at the NRA in general, at their lack of responsibility when it comes to guns, their lack of mentality of the logic of how guns...
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, the first book came out in 82.
82, okay. Different time. Yeah,
way
1982,
different time.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't really have a problem with guns, per se. Because we're PC as fuck here, we want to, put forward a good message. And this trailer might construe a message in a... People might twist and turn the message, is all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful of that kind of stuff. And I come from a very large hunting family, and so like I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with guns. Like we're both from Wisconsin. Hunting is a huge part of the culture there, And it always
People,
will be.
by and large, are responsible with their guns.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're responsible with your guns, like, you have nothing to worry about, or you should have nothing to worry about. Anyway, that's not the point I'm trying to make. Hey, let's talk about movies some more.
We should probably talk about The Dark Tower.
Yeah. Let's rate this motherfucker.
I'll give it a need to see more.
Wow, that's generous for you.
Yeah.
From where I was thinking it was going to go.
Like some of the style with like the gunplay is sort of neat. I did like the gunshot that went through a door, through a shirt, through some hay, and then
some like crops.
Pegging, pegging a dude
without Idris Elba even looking.
Yeah,
it was. It was a cool moment. Yeah,
and I think again specifically because it was Idris Elba doing it. You know what I mean? Like that really makes it cooler. Yeah, and so I mean, like, there's some stuff in here where it's like if I got dragged to it, I feel like I wouldn't be bored necessarily.
I agree with you, yeah.
But that said, I would probably walk in with fairly low expectations.
Sure.
So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now, and like maybe another trailer will be like, maybe there will be a shot where that kid is like, you should come to the real world, and then they step through the real world, and then immediately Matthew McConaughey just like punches the kid, and he's out of the movie. Or maybe there's going to be a shot where Idris Elba's heart bursts out of his chest and chokes Matthew McConaughey while spitting goop at him.
You will be the happiest son of a bitch in the world.
I'd upgrade my rating at the drop of a hat.
Maybe there'll be a point where the kid says, "Hey, Idris Elba, maybe you should be a little bit more responsible with your firearms." But I doubt it. Anyway.
I think I would like that kid more if he was Marty from Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Jeez, Rick, I don't know. Yeah, and it's a need to see more for me as well.
That's fair. Yeah. Star Wars rating, sir?
I'd give it a 3. Same as fucking what the fuck? We can't even remember the fucking name.
It comes at night.
It comes at night. Same as that. Yeah.
Man, we disagree about It Comes at Night.
What did we say again for 3?
Okay, so that means you would see The Dark Tower, but you would leave at the hour mark to use the bathroom in quotes, but really you're checking to see if a new Star Wars trailer dropped. Based on this trailer. With The Dark Tower, I would probably also make an excuse to like go use the bathroom, but really I'm just gonna like go check my phone and then probably bump into you outside, and then we'll both have that moment where like, oh yeah, no, just like I was on my way to the bathroom, and you're gonna like, oh okay, I was just like on my way back in, because we don't want to like we're self-conscious about the fact that we're not paying attention to it. One of those things.
We don't need to be self-conscious with each other, Kevin.
We can be open and honest.
We can be honest, that's right.
Yeah. Sir, it's a dark night outside. I think it might be time for us to call it.
I think we can wrap it up.
All right, cool.
In a dark way, though, right? We can keep it dark. Keep it dark.
We're going to be brooding as shit.
Let's wrap this up.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can hit us up on Facebook. You can hit us up on Twitter at TrailerHitchPod. You can email us at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. You can
That's right. Joe emailed us. You can too.
Yeah.
Email us, send us
we'll
a trailer.
We'll probably shout you out on the podcast.
Yeah.
What else are we going to do? Talk about Goop? Like...
Oh, we will talk about Goop.
We will talk about Goop.
At length, and you can't stop us.
Don't fucking prompt us, otherwise we will just go on. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a ton of fun. Feel free to hit us up on any of those mediums. Be sure to check out our Facebook page. Mm-hmm. Choose our punishment for going overtime on Hitchhikers today. Please go easy on us.
Yeah, please rate and review us on iTunes, too.
That's
cool. Very important. It is, I guess, a good thing.
From what we understand.
Because we want people to share this experience.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, unless you hate us, then don't. I don't really care, honestly.
We can't really force you to do anything. No. So, you know what? Just do you.
Yeah, it's a very non-violent medium, this podcasting.
It really is. Can't really threaten much.
No.
Anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you soon.
You can't mount holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch.